Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Jessica, your transformational sociologist. All that means is that I help you craft your place in the world to one that you desire, your place in the world that brings out the best version of who you are. I also work with organizations, be it councils, governments, or private organizations, to create places that enable their people to thrive. But enough about the introductions. Today, I'm going to talk about who you are. Who you really are. In this world today, where there's so much polarization on who we are, who we can be, with nationalisms and divisiveness dividing different countries, I think it's important for us to step back and truly look at who we are and how we can bring out the best of ourselves in this world, not just to benefit ourselves, but also to benefit our community, our country, and the world. I'm going to start by giving you an example of my life. I have for long thought about who I was and whether I was worth it. Why did I think that? As a child, I loved being a part of drama and media studies, but oftentimes I used to be pushed back simply because of my skin color. This is in a place where everyone were brown, but the fairest of the brown people were deemed more worthy than someone like me. As a child, I often wondered why that was, and subconsciously that affected who I was. Growing up, I began to think that perhaps I wasn't as worthy as someone else. That made me angry. It made me doubt myself, and it made me not bring out the best of who I was. Only when I realized that I can be whomever I wish to be and bring out the best version of myself did I begin to live a full life. Why am I sharing this tidbit with you? Because each of us, whether you're tall or short or white or brown or black or red, whether you're male or female, or whether you identify as both, I don't know who you are, but you do. Whoever you are, write it down. Write down what you think your strengths are. Write down what you think your weaknesses are. Write down the opportunities that present before you. And write down the threats that stop you from being who you can truly be. And then write down, is there a way for you to change them by yourself? Are there areas that are beyond your control that you cannot change? You see, regardless of whether we are the king or whether we've got nothing, there might be areas that we cannot change. So park that in the corner for the moment and calm your spirit. Do meditation every day, do regular exercise every day, and work on those things that you can change. And at the end of each day, write down at least 3 things you've accomplished each day in your journey to becoming who you truly are. And in a month's time, see where that's taken you. I did this exercise for myself and I found so much change in my life. Now, some of the things I cannot change how I look. I cannot change how I sound. Now I can aim to sound better in an attempt to communicate clearly. But just because I sound the way I do, it doesn't make me any less intelligent than somebody with a different accent that perhaps sounds posher. I don't know. But then write that down. Write the areas where you can better yourself and write the areas that are not necessarily your fault. So my height, I cannot change. My color, I cannot change. I can only present the best version of that food. And do not be shy to accept who you really are, because you're all that you've got. You can design a future that works for you. Now I want to talk about anger. You see, in the world today, words like colonization and is quite center stage. I'm currently doing a research on what colonization actually means. You see, it means different things to different people. As I've got a bachelor's in history, and throughout, as far as I know, throughout civilization, there's been colonization. Now, I'm not saying it's right, but what I am saying is being just angry about it and having hate does not solve your problem. Acknowledge it. Look, my situation, for example, it wasn't necessarily colonization from overseas, but I studied in my early years at a school in India, and it was really bizarre. People with a fairer skin were acknowledged more than someone like myself, which I thought was really bizarre. So bias can come in various shapes and forms. But what I have learned is anger doesn't solve anything. It only creates more anger and friction. So whether it's colonization or colorism or socioeconomic bias, figure out how you can say that you don't accept it, but how can you also move forward into the next stage of progression in this world's journey, where we colonize people with love, mutual respect, and where each of our cultures can hold center stage, where each of us are accepted for who we really are, where each of us can bring out the best version of ourselves without worrying about our true identity. The other thing to remember as well is we've all got multiple identities, and that's okay. We can be a number of, it's all the different pieces in the jigsaw puzzle that makes us who we are, and that is okay. What we need to do is put those jigsaw puzzles together and eliminate or reduce the negative influences wherever they may come from, whether it's cultural, socioeconomic, education, whatever habits, reduce or eliminate the negative influences and focus on the positive influences, so you can then draw out the positive energy in you and become greater and greater and greater and greater, not just for yourself, but for your community, your country, and the world. Today, my friends, I encourage you to write it down. Whatever it is, write it down. When you write it down, it becomes real. It becomes authentic. It becomes your reality. And then write down the reality that you want. Figure out what the gap is. Figure out what you can change. Figure out what you cannot change. You know, you could do this with your friends, your colleagues, your pastors, the people in your cultural leaders, your teachers. Or you're welcome to send me an email if you want, if you would like that, or anyone really that you truly trust. And even if it's, say, someone like me, and you talk to me and you feel like the vibe doesn't seem right, you should step back and find someone who can truly bring out the greatness in you. When I say vibe, I don't mean just go to people that say yes, yes, yes to everything, but those people that truly resonate with you, and that those people that can truly bring out the best version of who you are. See, my reality is true. I don't believe I had a very good schooling. I don't believe many of my teachers encouraged me. I think it's okay to acknowledge that, but it's also necessary to move past that acknowledgement into the next stage in our greatness journey, where we can redesign, where we can craft our places the way we want it to be. That, my friends, become great. Can I encourage you to do that today? Perhaps flick me an email with your strengths, with your SWOT analysis, and we can talk about it more. You can only be you. Doesn't matter whether you're black or white or short or fat or tall or slim. You can only be you. Be true. Be you. Sparkle wherever you are. I am Dr. Jessica, your transformational sociologist.